last week we talked about cookie cutter. We talked about, you're living your life, living, doing out of this cookie cutter mold. Cookie cutter mold is what people say, what life says, your perception of who you are supposed to be. We do this. Oh, you're good at that. Or your parents were good at that. Or you should do this. And we become someone that we're not. And what happens is we live a lie so long, you guys. Oh my God. We live that lie so long that those lies become our truth. We become numb. And I share this. I was in, and I just want to throw this disclaimer out. When I share my stories, I'm transparent. I'm never doing it to downgrade or look down, because I'm thankful for every experience that I lived, every person that came through my life. But I was going through something in my relationship, and I didn't even realize that I was depressed until I came out of my depression. Living a lie. I had become used to living a lie that I thought this is my truth. Have y'all ever said, this is just who I am. This is just how it is. And that's it. Anybody? I know I can say it for myself. This is just how I am. It's not how you are. It's how you've become. Your life doesn't have to be how it is. It's how it has become. And what happens is we believe the lie and we settle for the lie. We settle for the lie. And you don't have to settle. Society says just suck it up. Just suck it up and everything will be okay. And on the inside, you're dying. You believe the lie. But then we get on Facebook and we say, oh, I'm keeping it 100. Your 100 is even a lie. Your 100 has become a lie. So we want to talk about those things today. I'm trying to help you. I'm Tara T. Stallings. I am a transformational strategy life coach. I want to help you transform your life so that you can live a life full of joy and full of purpose. But the only way you're going to do that is be real with yourself. That's the only way. We can joke, we can jive, we can talk, we can do all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, we have to be real with ourselves. And most of us, truth be told, we are not true. We are not real with ourselves. We live a lie. We live for society. We live for our families. We live sometimes for our children. We live for our spouses. We do everything except living who we are in our purpose. And that's because we have not truly found out who we are and what our purpose is. So we live a lie and we get used to living a lie. You guys, you do realize that we as human beings, we are creatures of habit. And if we do anything long enough, it becomes our normal. It becomes our normal. It becomes our reality. And we start believing it. Oh, but this is just how it is. It just kind of happens. And then we die on the inside. We're miserable. And it starts coming out in our health. We become overweight. We become bitter. We become sarcastic. We become negative. Because we're not living up to our potential. Because we have chosen to live a lie. Why do we live a lie? Because we're afraid to be who we are. We're afraid to live the truth. We become afraid to say, hey, this is me, take it or leave it. This is who I am, take it or leave it. Now, let me be careful when I say that. Because some of you guys, some people tell that lie, this is who I am, and it's not who you are. You are acting out of your hurt, pains, disappointments, anxiety, fears, and you become that person. And you become that person so long, then you believe that's who you are. But really, it's not who you are. Exactly. Some people have no clue. Most people have no clue that they are living a life that's not who they are, and it's not who they are meant to be. So how do I go from, how do I discover that I'm living a lie? You know if you're living a lie or not. Because I shared with this last week. Most of the time you get home, you get alone. When you get in your alone time, your alone time is when all the realities come, they hit. Because see, we can go out with our friends and we can hang with our buddies, our church friends, our close friends. We can club, we can turn up, we can do all of that. We can go shopping, we can, keep it 100. We can be on Facebook and social media, living out, traveling, and all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, when you get home by yourself, you miserable, you depressed. That's how you know you're living a lie. But see, we'll do a lot of this outside things. We'll do a lot of external things. Shopping, buying cars. Nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong, because I like to shop. Buying cars, trying to keep up with this person, trying to be in all the social groups, and trying to be liked by people that really don't like you. So you become a person that you're not, and you live a lie. Some of us even get jobs based on the lies that we are living. Hate the job, but because it can support your lifestyle, the lie that you're living, you stay on it. I shared a while ago, because I do a lot of workshops, I do a lot of seminars, and I talk to a lot of people, and I shared this with somebody. I said, most people, especially social media has afforded us to live double lives. Most people, I don't, but most people do. They live a double life. And what do I mean when I say they live a double life? On social media, they live in a life. They post every picture, every new car, every new house, every new piece of clothing, everywhere they eat. They post everything that they do. Everything that they do. To show somebody that they living well. Now, don't get me wrong, with all things being equal, because everybody doesn't do it for that reason. But most people do it because they showing, I'm at the club, I'm turning up, I'm in the MIA, I'm in New York, I'm here, I'm there. And there's nothing wrong with that. But a lot of people do it so they can show this, to live a lie to a bunch of people that's living a lie. They live a lie on social media in front of a lot of people that's living a lie. So you living a lie to people that's living a lie. That's insane, people. Don't you think that's a little insane? To me, that's kind of crazy. If you are living a lie, why would you want to live a lie to somebody that's also living a lie? That doesn't make common sense. But that's what we do every day. So we want to talk about stop being defined by what other people believe or their perception of who you are. And that happens a lot of times. We live our life off of other people's perception. We go in and we talk and we do because we want to be somebody else, or somebody told us. Come on now. Somebody told us, oh, you good at such and such and such and such. You need to be this. You're good. You are great. And God has, and this is because, I'm in it with church folks a lot. Just got to keep it real. God, you got a call on your life. Your call is to go sit down, to live right. Go sit down. That may be your call. But because you don't know who you are, you want to be something that you're not. I had someone say something to me the other day. They said, well, I believe God has called me to spread the truth. And I said, okay. You know, they were sharing some things with me that I won't get into here on this broadcast. They were sharing some things that, we've been told a lie and we haven't got the whole truth. And I agreed with them with a whole lot of things that they were saying. But they said this to me. They said, but I'm afraid that if I start telling people the truth, they're going to think, I'm crazy or I'm high or something else. And I said this to them. I said, well, let me tell you something. If you believe, because I don't ever knock anybody that if they say God told them, they say God told them. That's what they believe. That's what they believe. I don't argue with people with that. But I shared this with them. I said, if that's what you believe, I said, this one thing right here. People believe what they see before they believe what you say. People believe what they see before what you say. So this is what I meant when I was talking to this person. I said, if that's what you believe, that's great. But presentation is everything. If God told you to tell the truth, tell the truth. But this is what happens. Because your lifestyle is a mess. The words that's coming out of your mouth are unfiltered. Nobody wants to gravitate to you. So this was my suggestion to them. If this is what you believe, what you need to do is work on yourself. So when it's time for you to go out and spread the truth of the matter, people will take you seriously because the first thing they see you looking serious. Because see, your words in this society, long time ago, your word was your bond. Not so now. See, before they can hear you, they see you. They look at your lifestyle. They listen to the words that's coming out of your mouth. And once they do that, then they can gravitate to what you're saying. So see, we want to keep things real, but we don't know who we are. And sometimes in that process of finding out who we are, it's a journey sometimes. This may be, okay, I know my purpose. Great, fine, great. But now go get your training. Train up. That's just like somebody saying, well, I know I want to be a doctor. When you go to your 4 years of school and your or regular school and then you go to your next 4 years and just doctorate studies, they still don't let you become a doctor. Then you go get some training. Before they label you and give you your pens and send you out to the world, you get a whole bunch of training. See, what we want is a Burger King society. We want to do it. I want it right now the way that I want it. And that's not how it works. You have to build your credibility. And if you looking like a mess and you talking like a mess, only thing you're going to gravitate to is a mess, and nobody's going to take you serious. So if you want to be taken seriously, you got to find out who you are. And if you know who you are, then you have to build. It's a molding time that you have to do. You have to, I just know who I am and all that other stuff that you done dealt with, all those social lies and lies of life. You got to work through all of that stuff. And depending on how old you are and what type of experiences you're going through, you may have a lot of stuff that you got to work through before you can keep it 100. You can't keep it 100 when you 25%. You can't keep it 100 when you 30%. You can't even keep it 100 when you 70%. You can't, because you don't know who you are. You still wrestling with your true identity. You still wrestling with who you are. You still wrestling with your purpose. You still wrestling with what makes you you. And if you're still wrestling with that, how in the world can you keep it 100? You cannot. It's impossible. You can keep it whatever percentage you are. You can keep it 25 if you're 25%. You can keep it 50% if you're 50%. But if that's where you are, stay at home and keep your mouth closed. Don't open up your mouth until it's time for you to open your mouth. Keep your mouth closed until you can level up. Till you can level up and say, hey, I know who I am. I've dealt with me, because we have to deal with ourselves. When we try to keep this thing, when we stop living a lie and our lies have become our truth, we have to understand that, hey, I got to shift through. I got to sift through. I got to move something. I got to peel some things back so that I can realize, who am I really? Not who I've become, not who I am working through my hurts and my pains and my discomforts and my beliefs and my cultural beliefs and my religious beliefs and my family beliefs and my isms and my schisms. But who are you? Who are you? So once you can realize and find out who you are, then you can move on to becoming 100. So often this is what happens, and my times, I tell you this 30 minutes, it's a quick 30 minutes. So often this is what happens. I notice this because, see, and I'm not telling you anything that I haven't lived. So often we're all different shapes, and I use this analogy. We're all created to be a different shape. And if your shape is a triangle and you always hanging with a bunch of circles, you don't fit. What happens is you try to conform you created to be a triangle, and everybody that you're dealing with are circles and squares. You try to make yourself a circle or a square, and it don't work. And you don't fit because it doesn't fit. And then what happens when you try to make it fit, you start breaking off a piece of who you are. What you say, Annette? You're right. Comfort zones and fear keeps people from being 100. That's so true. So you start breaking off who you are to try to be something that you were never created to be. Instead of finding you some triangles to deal with, find you some triangles. Hang with the triangle crew. Because the triangle crew, they fit who you are. And then even in the triangle crew, you got different sizes in the triangle crew. You got small triangles, you got medium-sized triangles, you got large, you got extra large, you got the super-sized triangles. Now, depending on what triangle you are and what triangle you're trying to aspire to be is who you need to hang with. Because if you're a medium-sized triangle and you believe that you're destined to be a super-sized triangle, what you need to do is you need to try to be hanging with the super-sized so you can grow. But what we do is we want to stay over here with the circles and the squares. Their function is different. Their personality is different. Their purpose is different. So if all of that is different and you a triangle and you hanging with the circle and the squares, you're never going to be 100 because you're too busy trying to be something that you're not. You're too busy trying to be something that you're not. And your lies become your truth. And you're miserable, and then you confess